Okay. Alrighty, so we'll just get started now. Thank you for your patience. Um, you just want to again make sure that anybody coming in late has the opportunity to get the entire information. If not, it will be provided. Um, let me go ahead and set this up here. All right. Okay, do apologize for the delay. Looks like we're running with a little bit of delay here. Um, so very briefly, just want to thank everybody for taking part in this town hall. This is the first of a series of town halls, so we, work work with us here. There's going to be some kinks, which we do apologize, but we will work those out as we go. The plan here is to hold these on a bi-weekly basis. So we'll definitely be able to expand on more topics that we're going to discuss today. And a thank you to everybody who took part in putting this together, especially the staff at the Worker Development, Aging, and Community Services, LA County, essentially. You guys do work round the clock to help these businesses out, and I can, definitely see that the effort that you guys put in to getting this information. So we do thank you for that. Also, I just wanted to go over a quick rundown of the AJCC. So essentially what we do here, we sort of complete the circle, whether you're a job seeker or you're a business. We help the job seekers connect with the employers looking for employees. In some of our offices, so we're a full service center. Our offices are located, we have representatives on this meeting from Santa Clarita, San Fernando, and yours truly from Antelope Valley. But essentially, we can tailor the needs of businesses, whether it's job recruitments, hiring events, job postings. We can get that information to job seekers as well, and we also help job seekers with access to them becoming a good candidate for those jobs, whether it's working with them on an individual basis, providing the facilities. So it's a full scope of assistance that we do at these AJCC centers. Some of our offices also have EDD on site, so we're able to assist with those claims, and I'm sure we'll touch on that as we go in the presentation. But essentially, what we do here at the AJCCs. So welcome. My name is Ricky. I am Business Services Representative here at the Antelope Valley AJCCs. And this is essentially the agenda for today. These are the four main topics that we will be discussing. First, we're essentially complete with the introductions, but next item on the agenda is something that's been in the back of all our minds. Some of us are more affected than others, but nonetheless, the assistance is there, and we want to make sure that your business has the information you need to be able to survive this. So we will, work together. We're going to make it through this, and hopefully, with the information that we provide, we can ease up the outcomes for our local businesses. So we'll be discussing the most up-to-date resources for the coronavirus, as well as a couple tips. We'll be looking at the overview of available federal, state, and local services. And at the end, the idea here is once we provide the information, we'd like to have some feedback as well. And we can certainly take some questions in the chat as well. We do have the representatives here that will be able to address. Okay, so let's just go over our goals for this town hall, and again, this is going to be regularly done. We are looking to do it bi-weekly. So if for some reason you want some additional information on a topic that we touched, let us know, and we'll be able to expand on it in future town halls. So our first goal is to empower our region by combating and staying together during this crisis. And also align our needs of our business partners and our communities with available resources in these challenging times. So we do understand, there are some challenges. Hopefully, with the information that we discussed today, we can provide some resources to weather the storm. Okay, because there will be a silver lining. So this is some information for where you can keep up to date on the status of the coronavirus as it's affecting our region. So you can certainly use the first link to stay up to date. Second, if for your workplace, if you want to make sure you prepare, for your employees, you just want to make sure that you're treating this pandemic correctly and being compliant with how pandemic should be addressed in the workplace. You can certainly reach out to CDC for some additional tips and information. So we want to make sure we get those out to you right away. And with that, I'll turn it over to Richard, who will be able to provide some information on the county and how we are addressing the coronavirus.
So hey everybody, this is Richard Cesar. I'm from the county's Workforce Development Department. Just wanted to say hello and let everybody know that we're working hard to kind of send resources to businesses across the county, to obtain more resources from the state, from the federal government in terms of funding, different grant opportunities, loan opportunities. And so we're working hard to kind of help you all during this tough time. And just wanted to kind of say that if there are any resources that you're ever in need of, please feel free to reach out to us. We're going to be sharing a lot of resources in the chat box, and we'll be sharing our kind of social media channels, which we encourage everyone to follow. We post a lot of resources for businesses. So, we're here for you during this time and always. So I wanted to say that. And then next slide. Next slide, Ricky.
Yeah, so it looks like we're having just a little bit of a delay there. So again, this is going to be an overview of the available resources.
One more. One more slide, Ricky.
I think he's flipping it, but I think there's a minor delay.
All right, well, yeah, I mean, these are a couple of links that we provided right here. We have a fantastic partnership with our Los Angeles County Economic Development Corporation. We actually have Leonard on the phone on this call right now, and I'll turn it over to him soon to provide just a little overview of the services and the free business technical assistance that LAEDC provides. We also want to just make sure everyone's aware of the different protections that the county is putting in place in regards to renting, leasing property. There's an eviction protection that's in place right now. There's also a rent freeze that prohibits landlords from raising rent during this time. To stay up to date on kind of those issues, we again encourage everyone to visit lacounty.gov /COVID-19. Wanted to also bring your attention to a microloan program being offered through the city of LA. And that's the link right there. Please visit that for information to determine if you qualify. They're providing loans between $5,000 and $20,000. Also wanted to kind of sort of debut, but give kind of a heads up that the county is developing different loan and grant programs that should be available within the next week. So stay tuned for that. We'll be providing more information. And then obviously SBA, we have a member of SBDC who is on the line right now. And they'll be telling you about some of the new SBA programs that are available. And I'll also in the link share a grant program that just became, that I just found out about, which is leveraging some funds, private funds from Verizon. So I think a lot of the businesses on this call will be eligible, and I'll just share that in the chat and continue to share resources throughout this webinar. Next slide.
It's coming. It's taking a little bit.
So I mentioned we have Leonard from our LAEDC team on the line, and I wanted to kind of turn it over to him to give a couple minute overview of the services that we offer in partnership with LAEDC.
Yes, good morning, everybody, and thank you for your support. And it looks like we are a team, and we are promoting all of the services that are coming through the pipeline, as the different loans and microloans that are making available. And it looks like there are more grants coming down the pipeline. But essentially, LAEDC outreaches aggressively to businesses right now. We're reaching out to them through various ways, even cold calling, via email blast, because they want them to know that we can offer different services. We can make those connections with different funding agencies, the SBA disaster loan, the Verizon as well. That's they're mentioned already. But our goal is to take a business that is in need all the way to getting the services that the business needs in order to keep the business sustainable. So whatever the issue might be, it could be access to capital, it could be issue with production, it could be an issue with compliance, county compliance, or anything. But specifically in this type of environment, in this specific situation, we want to make sure that businesses are not discouraging for reaching out to the funding agencies. So we take the time to walk them through the process, answer their questions, make available different resources through different agencies so they can successfully put all their documents together, for example, for a loan, so they can send the loan package and it gets approved. Right now, we're promoting, the voucher program, that's a way to mitigate layoffs. We're promoting the payroll protection program from the SBA. We're also promoting the many other programs that can help the business to keep afloat. So my number is, you can reach me at that's my direct number, 213-725-4938. We practically answer the phone 24 hours, to be quite honest, because, we just keep some ringing and ringing, and we just were able to strategize in our headquarters to manage all these phone calls on request. So again, you can reach me at any time. My name is Leonard Morales at 213-725-4938. I know there will be more programs and grants available. So don't hesitate to reach out. I know many times, being bilingual, allow us to reach out to a wider audience. So LEDC also can, we have on our staff, we have some other members that speak several languages. So we're here to help.
And if you want to, everybody, if you want to take a look at the chat, his contact information was provided there for your reference. Now,
Thank you so much, Leonard.
thank you. Now, David Santa Maria is going to be covering some information on rapid response. David?
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is David Santa Maria. I'm the Business Services Manager and Rapid Response Supervisor for the Antelope Valley, which it covers Region 1. We run the Rapid Response Program for the region that helps businesses that are closing or laying off, specifically, especially during this time of need. And then on a personal note, we've never seen any layoffs like this in the past few weeks. Businesses, small and large, have called Rapid Response, contemplating making some layoff decisions. These calls are coming from industries such as the construction, manufacturing, healthcare, finance, food services, entertainment, logistics. But arguably the most that we've had are from the retail and education industries. Now, what is Rapid Response for those of you that might not know? There are numerous America's Job Center offices located within LA County. In these offices, they offer no-cost assistance to guide participants and businesses having trouble with new employment, unemployment services, training services, healthcare benefits, retirement, 401k, and other supportive services such as transportation costs, equipment, and new higher onboarding expenses that will help participants and employers with gaining and maintaining employment placement services. These job centers are funded through the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act, WIOA, federal funds that assist participants that are laid off due to no fault of their own. It's important to know that you must be approved by these offices in order to receive this assistance. During these times, many changes and decisions are being made by state, local, and federal level that are being updated daily. One of these topics of concern is the unemployment insurance. Claims have been spiked up, and it's very hard for us to get live representatives in order to get some accurate answers. Rapid Response works in conjunction with the Employment Development Department to get businesses immediate answers to their questions so they can educate businesses and business owners and employers. Many are asking about training services. These centers have approved training providers through the LA County that offer short-term training. These training providers can be located at the local community college, all through also university level. They can give a layoff worker a new trade that will make them more marketable. For those that are using healthcare benefits after the layoff and cannot go through more expensive alternatives, they can use the Covered California as a temporary or permanent means for their healthcare coverage needs. And Rapid Response can also help with that as well. Our partner with Covered California also works with major providers such as Kaiser Permanente, Blue Shield of California, Anthem Blue Cross, Healthcare, Molina Healthcare, and LA Care Health Plan. If your business is facing some layoffs and you're contemplating laying off staff because of this pandemic, please contact the Rapid Response team at America's Job Center. We will answer all your questions. We will assess your current situation and help your business get back on track. For more information regarding the Rapid Response services, you can contact the Rapid Response coordinator. Her name is Kendra Kennard. Her phone number is area code 818-267-7775. Again, that number is 818-267-7775. Or you can contact myself, David Santa Maria. My phone number is area code 661-405-8739. And feel free to reach out to us, and we could go ahead and assist you and your business.
Thank you, David. And David, if you can, you can leave that contact information on the chat box as well. Oh, there you go. It looks like it's already been included. Perfect. So next we will have Scott Heffernan from the Santa Clarita office. Can you give us a little bit more information on some questions that you may have regarding worker benefits?
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Scott with the Santa Clarita America's Job Center Business Service Rep. Now, I know it's only one slide, but there is a lot of information on all of these subjects, and I'm going to try to keep it as short and sweet as possible. And hopefully we can move to a next town hall and go into more detail about the most asked about ones. As David was saying, we have an unprecedented amount of calls coming into the EDD from businesses and individuals alike. I'll touch on this in a little bit, but the county has teamed up with numerous other organizations and offices to host the Disaster Help Center. So that's something that you can reach out to via email or call in there Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And you will get a live person that will do their absolute best to help you with your needs, refer you to the right office. If you're a business that's facing closures, you'll be referred to your closest rapid response coordinator. Now, I'll preface this again. I am not an absolute authority on anything with the EDD, but I will do the best to give the information that was provided by them. I'm going to quickly post a link in the chat for everyone for the next slide so you can view it at your own pleasure. But we can start with the big one, which is unemployment insurance. Now, normally you would get your unemployment insurance benefits if you lost your job or had your hours cut through no fault of your own. This still applies, but it would be also with any reasons related to the COVID-19 virus. If you are temporarily out of work and you plan to return to that employer and you do not meet the usual requirements of looking for work while you are collecting unemployment benefits, the EDD will inform you if you are not required to look for work each week. There have been sizable expansions to the eligibility and payment options for unemployment insurance, but Carolyn Drosis is going to be going over that a little bit later in the meeting when she talks about the CARES Act. Disability insurance, per the EDD, you can actually file for both disability and unemployment insurance, but you are only able to collect payments under one benefit program at a time. If you're not sure which one to apply for, the EDD does encourage you to apply for both, and they're going to review the facts and determine your eligibility for the appropriate program. All cases are decided solely at the EDD's discretion, and each one is considered on a case-by-case basis. Disability insurance is, however, a little different. I'm going to skip down to workers' comp very briefly. It's different from workers' comp in the sense that disability insurance is going to be something that is more short-term disability, whereas workers' comp is going to be accessible if you were exposed or contracted the COVID-19 virus during the regular course of your work and you're no longer able to go back to your usual job. Disability insurance is going, would you go to the next slide, please, Ricky? Disability insurance is going to be if you are unable to work due to a medical quarantine or an illness related to COVID-19. This one does require that you have has been certified by a medical professional. Workers' comp is going to be something that can actually last you up to 104 weeks, and you will be staying out of work until you are given the okay to go back by your doctor, whether you have been deemed no longer infectious to others or you have become as healthy as you can be in that time frame. Now for work sharing, to touch a little bit back on what David was mentioning as far as rapid response efforts, this is one of the big things that a rapid response coordinator would be able to help you with, and either David or Kendra Kennard would be your best go-tos for working on some kind of work sharing process. You can apply for the program if you are reducing your production, services, or other conditions that can cause you to seek alternatives to layoffs. This is a good way to supplement the wages and still keep the people at their jobs. they would be receiving UI benefits and would avoid potential financial hardships. The benefits for employers is almost minimizing or eliminating the need for layoffs. You get to keep your trained employees and you quickly prepare them when business conditions improve. And you get to avoid that extensive cost of recruiting, hiring, and training brand new employees once all the dust is settled from the COVID-19 virus. All right, now the big one that a lot of businesses have been talking about is the paid family leave. I do not have anywhere near enough time to go into this in full detail because it is very extensive and I am not a lawyer, so I cannot give any legal or specific advice on this. But for the sake of time, I'm going to reference an amazing video that was put on by our local SCV EDC by Holly Schroeder. Give me 1 second to post it in there. And she goes into extreme, the lawyer Brian Kegley goes into extreme detail about the differences between the new paid family leave and the new paid sick leave, which were expanded tremendously by the FFCRA, or the Families First Coronavirus Recovery Act. Say that 5 times fast. This was just the second in in 3 congressional acts to provide relief to the economic and businesses collapsed by the COVID virus. This has also pushed into some increases in regulations as far as a new labor poster that you need to have. Technically, you were supposed to already have it up as of yesterday, April 1st. I'm going to post the link for that as well right here. So if you don't already have this poster posted at your work site, you do need to have it done in a visible place, whether that's in your break room or in your main office area, somewhere where anyone can see it. There is not clarification on if you still need to have it even when you're not working in the office, but so far they have said that you should. Now, the new paid sick leave and paid family leave is going to be affecting businesses that are under 500 workers. There is currently no credit. They are supposed to be paying a dollar for dollar tax credit for providing these extended paid family leave and paid sick leave for individuals affected by the COVID-19 virus. However, there's currently no credit or benefit system set up for employers if they extended their paid leave prior to April 1st. So if they were sick or quarantined prior to the effective date of the bill and the employer extended beyond its normally provided plans for like paid sick time, vacation, or PTO, there's currently not a method to capture a tax credit or offset that against new benefits that accrued on April 1st. There are supposed to be exceptions or exemptions for smaller employers that might be substantially affected or potentially have to close down if they were to provide these additional leave benefits. But we are still currently waiting for clarification to determine whether or not employers under 50 qualify as exempt from the provisions of the FFCRA based upon economic hardship. That is something that they need to prove. But the Department of Labor is anticipating issuing new regulations on that issue in early April. Went a little longer than I expected. I apologize. Ricky, can you go to the next slide for me, please? Sorry, I know there's a delay. Okay, so this was what I referenced previously, the LA County Business and Worker Disaster Help Center. Having personally been on these calls, we have been getting them ringing off the hook from the moment that we sign in at 8 till the moment that we sign out at 5. There is a vast variety of different, requests and inquiries, everything from just trying to get, additional help with their unemployment benefits because no one's answering the phone, or if we simply just, need to talk them through their personal situation, give them some advice, or be someone to talk to. Because a lot of people are looking for help and they can't get anyone on the phone. And so this has been a really great way for us to connect with our community and really get them to feel that because LA County does care. And this is a great way for us to connect with them and make them feel heard and helped by their county. So that is going to be it for me. I believe we were skipping Carolyn for a later time. Ricky?
Correct. She was going to talk about the CARES Act. She will still do that. It's just that later on in this presentation as opposed to the next slide. So next, we will actually be...
now if you want me to.
Oh, you can do... Oh, perfect.
Yeah, sorry. I was on another call that I thought was going to run longer, but I'm here, so I'm happy to do it for you guys. Is that okay?
Sure. The slide is already there.
Fantastic. So it sounds like we have, how many people do we have on this call, and are most of them businesses? I don't know if Scott or Ricky can tell me that.
Yes, about 100 people right now, and yeah, well, most of them are probably businesses in our community.
Fantastic. I just always want to be aware of my audience here. So this information is really directed at our business community. Happy to also try to provide employer information for any of our employers who might need that help. So really important to note that the CARES Act, it's a $2.2 trillion stimulus package, and it was really created to provide the financial assistance to businesses and individuals who've been impacted by COVID-19. I'm sure that has already been covered on this call, and I'm also sure it sounds like the Small Business Development Center is on the call as well. So I want to make sure that, you know, if there are any specific questions about how we access any of the loan funds, that we allow the SBDC to speak to that. So in any event, the CARES Act makes $500 billion of the $2.2 trillion available for emergency relief fund for larger businesses. So that's kind of our president's nod to the big industry. So there's money for loans and aid to those businesses. If you are a business with over 500 employees, that fund is going to be run through the U.S. Department of the Treasury, and that's going to allow the Federal Reserve to add more than $4 trillion into the economy and credit markets. Additionally, what's already been mentioned on this call, and really the focus of what we want to talk about, is the Paycheck Protection Program. This is expanding relief for our small businesses, and it's a $349 billion negotiated amount. And that's really going to expand the Small Business Administration's Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program, and their program, their 7A program that's currently being run through a variety of banks throughout the country. This Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program expansion, the PPP, is going to provide up to $10 million in loans for small businesses impacted by COVID-19 to maintain payroll-related costs. So again, $10 million. Previously, the threshold was $5 million. Now we're going up to $10 million, and that's really to help those small businesses impacted by COVID-19 with payroll. If the loan is used for payroll, the loan is going to be forgiven. So we're anticipating about 75% of these loans are going to be forgivable loans. So if you need to pay payroll, please apply for this. If you can show that you're using it for payroll, you're going to have a forgivable loan. And again, like we mentioned, the eligibility is businesses that are 500 or fewer. There are a few different tests based on what type of NAICS code you are, the North American Industry Codes, and there are a few different exceptions to exceed the 500 employees or less test, specifically for restaurants that have, for restaurant chains that have more than 500 seasonal employees. How would you apply? You need to contact your local lender, and actually I'm happy to put a link to a link to SBA, what SBA's put out, to see if you have a certified SBA lender or find a certified SBA lender. So I don't know if someone put that in the chat. I'm just going to go ahead and put that link right there to look to see if you can find a certified lender. What about independent contractors or gig economy workers? I think that's been a big question that a lot of us have had. Sole proprietors, independent contractors, gig economy workers, and self-employed individuals are all eligible for PPP, for Triple P, Paycheck Protection Program. So if you are working with those individuals, please help them. The application deadline for this expanded relief is June 30th, 2020. And I will say anecdotally from businesses that I know, SBA is just being inundated with applications right now. I would encourage people to apply sooner rather than later. Loans, like I said, are going to be administered through the SBA 7A loan program. And so what's going to happen is you're going to apply for your loan with your existing lender or a lender that you find if you don't have an existing business lender who's been enrolled in the 7A program, and they are going to go to the federal government after they give you the loan to get reimbursed by the federal government, by the SBA. So your bank is going to disperse you that loan. And again, the maximum loan size is $10 million. Or if you don't need $10 million, 250% of your average monthly payroll costs for the Paycheck Protection Program. So that is intended to cover 8 weeks of payroll expenses and any additional amounts for making payments toward your debt obligations that you might have. And this 8-week period may be applied to any time frame between February 15th, 2020 and June 30th, 2020. If you have seasonal business expenses, if you're a seasonal business, that will be measured using a 12-week period beginning February 15th or March 1st, 2019, whichever the seasonal employer chooses. And again, that's a little bit technical, so you can talk with your loan officer about what you should be applying for. Additionally, the CARES Act expands economic injury disaster loans. This loan provides assistance to businesses that have been impacted by a substantial economic injury, which includes the outbreak of COVID-19, that you also may apply for the Paycheck Protection Program. So you can apply for both. And this would be for businesses with 500 or fewer employees, sole proprietors, independent contractors, etc. If you want to apply for that, their application deadline is a little bit longer. That's until December 31st, 2020. And I'm also going to put a link in the chat really quickly here. Just expanding that, pasting that. And then the emergency economic injury grants. So the CARES Act put together emergency grants to advance businesses up to $10,000. So that would be small businesses and private nonprofits who have been impacted by COVID-19. This is like a bridge funding. The advance does not need to be repaid and can be used to keep your employees on the payroll. Again, we want to retain employees. That's always what our workforce system is focused on. How do we help hire people? How do we help retain these people? So you can use that emergency grant for payroll, paid sick leave, increased production costs, business obligations like debt that you owe, rent and mortgage payments, and you still can apply to the Paycheck Protection Program. You must apply for the economic injury grant within 3 days of applying for an SBA economic injury disaster loan. Again, because you're using this as bridge funding. And again, I had put the link for the disaster loan there. And the application deadline for the emergency economic injury grants is December 31st. There's also an employee retention tax credit I think a lot of you guys might have heard about. Making sure that we are retaining our employees is of paramount importance. The tax credit is for employers that have been subject to closure or who are experiencing, again, hardship due to COVID-19. And this is a refundable tax credit for businesses, including nonprofits who are paying sick leave as well as paying the employees. And this is available to those employers who are experiencing a 50% or more reduction in your quarterly earnings. There's also a provision in the Act that delays 2020 payroll taxes until 2021 and 2022. So businesses do not have to be paying their payroll taxes right now if they cannot. Any deferred amounts will be due in 2 equal installments. So you'll have an installment payment. And if you are receiving assistance through the Paycheck Protection Program, you would not qualify for this deferral. So again, you've got to talk with your lender about what you think is important. For those of you who have employees and you want to let them know information, there is expanded unemployment insurance under this act. So again, if you've had to lay people off or if you're reducing hours, I would encourage you to have your employees apply for unemployment insurance through the state EDD. Do that online. They're inundated with applications. And I think as you probably saw in the news that was released this morning, the DOL sent me an email over 6 million people last week applied for unemployment insurance nationwide. So we are seeing a deluge of those applications. Fortunately, this new bill increases unemployment insurance by $600 per week for 4 months on top of what they would be receiving in UIB from the state. So that's great, and you should definitely let your employees know about that. This also would benefit, again, because we're now in a disaster mode, disaster unemployment insurance. This coverage extends to gig economy workers, freelancers, furloughed workers, especially those furloughed workers who, and I'm sure you heard Macy's furloughed a majority of their workers, who are still getting health insurance because you're on furlough, but you're not receiving a paycheck, so you still can apply. So if anyone has any questions, I think it looks like we did have some questions, and I'm happy to try to take those. Let's see. Do we have, does anyone, I'm just trying to find, I'm looking at our questions here. Where do small businesses apply for the loan? Okay, so I think I put that in there. Can't hear anything, sorry about that. I don't know, can you guys hear me okay? Hopefully. The loan is definitely available for churches if you're some sort of corporate entity. Kelly V, I would definitely recommend contacting your lender directly. It's going to be much faster. There is an application on the SBA website for the disaster loan that I know people already submitted. You can still submit for the paycheck protection. And typically, if you already have a lender, it's easier to go straight to them. I think I put a list for where you can find those lenders. But again, I would encourage you to go to them directly. If not, you can definitely do it on the SBA website. Someone wrote, "What the F is going on?" Sorry, I don't know. Can they apply for the $10,000 advance? I believe that I just stated that they cannot. Put that information all online. Yes, Leonard, that's correct. We have our friends from LAEDC here if they want to add anything. Yes, okay. The PPP, do you still qualify for PPP if you lay off employees? I believe that you can. And Justin again asked, people want to know where they can apply for this grant. So again, you have to apply for the loan first, the disaster loan or the 7A loan, and then you would apply for that bridge funding. So that's after you apply. Okay, so I think that's answered all of our questions. Hopefully that was helpful, and we're happy to send out more information.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Carolyn. That was certainly, I know it's a lot of information that a lot of businesses were looking forward to. Now, we still have a few more presenters with very valuable information. However, I'm going to ask, because we want to have a chance to give participants a question and answer. If they haven't done so already in the chat, I'd just like to ask to condense the parts a little bit, just so we can account for that time. So next on the list is going to be Claudia Shaw from the SBDC, who will have more information. So I'll go ahead and hand it over to Claudia.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Caroline covered a great amount of information from whatever the SBA loans and the PPP loans were going to be. So I don't want to go much into depth about it because she already covered a little bit of it. But what I want to tell you is that if you need help with filling out the application or finding a little bit more in-depth information about it, we will be more than happy to assist you. So my name is Claudia Shah. I work for the Small Business Development Center. We have 9 locations in LA County, including the Santa Clarita Antelope Valley that is hosted by College of the Canyons. So what we are doing right now, of course, we all are working remotely, but we still be able to handle any calls via Zoom, via the phone. So please reach out to us. There is a lot of information, a lot of misinformation. Information is changing by the minute. Sometimes we feel So we're like studying every day with the new things that are happening. So our phone number is there. What I am trying to do is I'm trying to centralize the information for everybody, and I'm asking our employers, our small business owners, not to go to so many websites and try to focus in the different websites that we're offering that are reliable sources, like the entities that we have today. And we have it in our Facebook page, mainly for Spanish speakers, and at the smallbizla.org for English speakers. So that will be my suggestion for the majority of you, just to focus in 3-4 websites that you can rely on for the information, so you're not all over the place. Okay, so let's go to some slides really quick, because I know for the sake of time, we want to be able to at least cover the main things. And what I want to give is a little bit of peace of mind to the business owners, and try not to rush into making decisions of closing their business or laying off employees and all that stuff. So that's why what I am suggesting is, you can go to the other slide, like just go ahead and talk to us and see how we can help you. Why? Because, for example, with the SBA loans, what we are trying to do with the SBA loans is, the idea is you apply for the loan, you have to go back. If you had already applied before Monday, March 30th, you have to reapply for the loan. And you have to check the $10,000 checkbox that is there in the application, so you can be considered for that. The $10,000, and it's up to $10,000, and that's some clarification that the SBA has been giving us. It's like, it's not 10,000, it's up to $10,000. So when they approve you, they will tell you how much is the amount that they have approved you for. And then you can just use that towards your payroll. Okay, so if they only approve you 5,000, those 5,000 will be the amount that they will forgive if you use that amount towards payroll. So there are 2 applications. One is what we're calling the EIDL, the emergency loan, and the other one is the PPP. So you have to do 2 applications. But the SBA application, the EIDL application, is the one that we're asking everybody to just go ahead and do it. The other one is because it's payroll related, so we need to look into that. And you are supposed to retain employees in order for you to show that you did have a financial hardship on the payroll side. But if you don't have any employees because you laid them all off, then there is no like show on this. This is perfect. So then, what we're asking you to do before you make decisions of closing is, why don't you go ahead and see what is happening to you, how much financial hardship you are going to have. Let's have projections on your financials to see how it compares from last year. So from last year, March and April were months that you had a lot of income and revenues. What we're asking you to do is, let's try to see how these months are going to be affected, and how you can project the following months to see where you can cut like a little bit of expenses and things, how you can become an online service provider or goods provider, how you can join the other community members to do this. So that's what we are trying to ask you for. And to talk to your lender, talk to your mortgage, to your landlord, to all these people, to see how they can come together and help you, so you can get ahead in all this economy. We are with the SBA loans, and I think Caroline already touched that, the interest rate is 3.75, and like this is changing by the minute, so some of the information here is not up to date, but it's 3.75 for small business owners for profit, and 2.75 for nonprofit. So that's the amount. You have 12 months grace period not to pay interest. You can pay back the loan at any time without any penalty. Maximum loan amount, loan years is 30 years. So you can pay back at any time, no penalty. What we are asking, or we are suggesting our small business owners, because the SBA is also suggesting, is go ahead and apply for the loan. If you don't want to use it, no problem. You have 12 months to decide because you're not paying any interest. So if you don't want to use it, you just return whatever amount you were approved. But just go ahead and start. Right now, there is like 3.6 thousand million, however you say that big number, in the queue. So you do want to put your loan in the queue as soon as possible. Before March 30th, you had to fill out like 5-6 forms. Right now, you only have to fill out 2 forms with the SBA. So it is expediting a little bit the process. They will request more forms later on if they are going to approve your loan. So let's take advantage of that. The SBDC is hosting daily meetings this week and maybe next week as well at 3 o'clock, where we talk only about all this, SBA loans, the PPP loan, all this. I will put it in the chat box after I finish talking, and I'll give you the link so you can join those meetings. It's every day at 3 o'clock. We have an SBA representative that is there talking and answering all these questions. So it's like 1 hour just to talk about all this information about how it works, where to apply, how to apply. The link for the SBA is there, covid19relief.sba.gov. And then I think Caroline had already shared the PPP program as well. So please reach out to us. Let us know how we can help you with your business. That's what we do. Is free advising, is free support. We speak Spanish as well. And we are here to do that, to support you, to guide you, to help you figure this out. This is, everybody's in the same boat. It's new for all of us. And you're not alone as a business owner. You're not alone. You have all these great, amazing entities that are here today with you, and we're here to support you, to guide you, and to help you. So I don't know if there are questions, but I will share the link for the daily meetings.
Yeah, for the, to save time, I would just ask that if you have a question, just enter it in the chat box, and then maybe Claudia, you can just spend a little bit of time in answering them as we move on to the next presenter, which is.
Yeah, sure.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So next, we do have Betzedek Legal Services here. This is their contact information, but they can essentially provide free legal advice in case you have any questions. So with that, I'll go ahead and turn the presentation over to Rachel.
Hi, everybody. My name is Rachel Ettinger. I am the clinics coordinator at Betzedek, and I also work on our small business development program. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Betzedek, we are a 45-year-old legal services nonprofit. All the work we do is completely free and has always been completely free. I know that free legal help for your business sounds suspicious, and a lot of people have promised free help probably, but I can assure you that when we say free, we do mean 100% free from start to finish. And the way that we provide our legal services to small businesses is in 2 ways. And during these really unprecedented, difficult times, we're going to continue doing it in our 2 ways. The first way is through a series of presentations, educational webinars and presentations on a variety of small business topics. We are currently working on our schedule for that. That should be up by tomorrow or Monday at the latest. Traditionally, we've offered presentations designed to educate small business owners about the basics, legal basics about their business. We do entity formation and small business basics and employment law basics and intellectual property basics. We are still going to be running those. We recognize that they're not the most urgent topics necessarily right now, but they are important. And while people are at home and have perhaps a little bit of time, we would love to be able to teach you and get you up to speed on the basics of business law. On the other hand, we do recognize that there is an absolute unprecedented need for information around the coronavirus and how it's affecting businesses. So we have partnered with the big law firms in LA. I'm talking, the law firms who traditionally represent the giant corporations. They are specialists in business law. And they have developed a series of, I think we're up to almost 20 coronavirus specific business presentations and flyers and FAQs. And we'll be rolling those out. Like I said, some are going up tomorrow and then over the next few weeks. I really encourage you to check our website frequently. We are redesigning our landing page right now, but we'll have our schedule up as soon as possible. We plan on running 2 to 3 presentations a week minimum. And those are completely free. They're open to everyone. Some of the presentations will require an RSVP just so we can keep it small, so you can ask lots of questions, and others will be open to everybody. And the second way that we provide services are that we actually do one-on-one legal work for free. Again, we work with these attorneys who traditionally represent all these giant corporations and charge a ton of money, and they come in and they donate their services for free to work with you. They're not going to be general counsel for your business for the rest of your business, but they will work on these individual issues for you. To qualify for that assistance, there are some guidelines that you have to hit. First, you have to have a business in LA County. It needs to be a for-profit business. We unfortunately can't assist with nonprofits, but we can give you some resources if you're a nonprofit. We have some financial eligibility guidelines, and it also has to only be transactional business issues. So unfortunately, if you're already involved in litigation or you're headed towards litigation, like you're going to court, that's not where we can help. But anything transactional, we can likely help with. The way to find out about that is to head to our website, betsedec.org. There is an application for our services, and you can fill that out. We need the application to determine whether you qualify. There are currently 3 staff attorneys working on this project, as well as an army of, I think we're up to about 5 volunteer attorneys who work just going through the applications, getting you set up. So we're here to help. We're developing the resources. Again, it's taking a little bit of time because we have so many things coming up, but please check our website. Feel free to reach out to us. The number that you see on the screen, if you dial that number, an extension 414 goes directly to small business. Otherwise, that's our general intake line, and they will be able to direct you to us as well. If anyone has any questions, I am happy to answer them, but we are here to serve the small business community with all of your legal needs, transactional legal needs, and we're just delighted to be able to help.
All righty, thank you so much, Rachel, for your assistance in providing that information. Again, that's the contact information, and if you have any questions, please enter them in the chat. Again, it's to save on time. We have one more presenter, that is Ken Gomez from EDD. He will be expanding essentially on what Scott already touched on previously. So I'll go ahead and turn it to him. I believe he will be sharing his screen as well.
Yes, I will. I need to have the last presenter exit out of the share screen option.
Sorry, I'm not sharing my screen.
Oh, thank you. Well, good morning, everybody, and kudos to all the presenters today. They've provided you guys with a lot of wonderful and valuable information. So I know I'm the last presenter, and it's been a long hour or so. So I'll do the best I can to cover how the COVID-19 and CARES Act have impacted the UI program. So let's go ahead and get started. So what I want to start with is just kind of letting you know what we're doing to mitigate the unprecedented volume. We've first of all implemented our emergency telework program, which allows folks to work at home. This not only frees up office space so we can maintain social distancing, but it allows us to hire, which we're doing. And it also allows people the flexibility of working from their homes so that you don't have to worry about commutes and exposure. It's a really great program. We are really looking forward to continuing this through the crisis. We also want to make you aware that we haven't expanded our hours for our staff to file claims and make benefit payments. We are now open basically 6 a.m. till 8 p.m. for this, what I call behind the scenes work. However, our call centers still remain open only from 8 a.m. to 12 noon. We've also been able to reassign managers and support staff to production work, which has been a tremendous help. And fortunately, a lot of the EDD branches have people that have previously worked for the UI program, so we're tapping into that resource as well. The other thing you're probably hearing a lot about on the news is systems crashing across the nation when it comes to UI. We've, knock on wood, so far so good. We have detected some slowness issues, but we do perform hourly health checks on all of our systems to make sure that they're up and running as designed. And if there's even slightest nuance of something not going right, our IT department is on it immediately, so we can keep the systems available for people to file their claims, gather information, as well as certify for their benefits. Some other things that we've implemented too, which has been a tremendous help, is we've streamlined a lot of our processes and updated our automation to help filing a claim and getting benefits paid faster. So just a few basics about the UI program. It basically is partial income replacement for employees who have lost their jobs or have had their hours reduced due to no fault of their own. As you know, it's funded completely by employers at no cost to employees. The weekly benefit amount currently ranges from $40 to $450, and that's based on the claimant's highest quarterly earnings over the past 18 completed quarters. Governor Newsom did waive the waiting period for COVID-19, so that's a benefit. In the past, customers had to wait 1 week without pay before the benefit payments kicked in. Now they kick in immediately. I know that they've covered the CARES Act in great detail, but just to kind of reiterate, one of the key components, two key components really are, is that the UI program has been expanded to those who were not previously eligible for benefits, such as the self-employed, freelancers, and independent contractors. And beginning on just last Sunday, the stimulus payment is kicking in for benefit payments. This is in addition to their normal weekly benefit amount. So for example, if somebody had the maximum of $450 and they were certifying for benefits ending this coming Saturday, they would get the additional $600 for a total of $1,050. So please keep that in mind, that the stimulus went into effect last Sunday and is going to be in effect through the end of July. For additional updates, because it's such a fluid situation, we highly encourage people to basically live on our website. We have a special dedicated page for the COVID-19 efforts. So basically, I know you wanted to get information on how to help your employees. Quite frankly, the fastest way is to really encourage them to apply immediately. If they're not sure what program is best for them, as Scott referenced, is it disability, is it paid family leave, is it UI? If in doubt, file, and the EDD will make that determination for them. Also, one thing to keep in mind, the first step to filing a claim online is customers need to create a benefit programs online login. And what this does is it's really giving them access to our EDD portal for all of our benefit programs. So once they've got the credentials set up, meaning their email address and their passwords, security questions, and security images, they will use this single logon to access not only the UI program and UI Online, but SDI Online as well for disability and paid family leave benefits. So we've really tried to simplify accessing our systems with a single login. The next preferred method is to have them speak to a representative by phone, and those phone lines are open between 8 a.m. and 12 noon, except for weekends and state holidays. And lastly, they can fax or mail their application to us at the address or fax number listed on the form itself. But we do tell them to please allow additional time for processing due to mail delivery. Again, UI Online is the fastest way, followed by the phone, which I know we're difficult to get a hold of, so tell them to keep on trying, and then fax mail is the other option. So after the claim is filed, what they need to know is that they're going to get some really important information from the EDD by mail. It confirms, number one, that their claim was filed. It also tells them what their weekly benefit amount exclusive of the stimulus payment would be and how we computed that. And they'll also get the first continued claim form to certify for benefits by mail. However, we highly encourage them to certify online or by phone for faster processing. So the importance of these documents really is to make sure that we have captured everything correctly and the wages reported to us are accurate. So we do ask the customers to please verify the accuracy of the claim and wage information and to let us know immediately if anything's incorrect so we can make the necessary adjustments. We also want to continue them to read, review, and respond to all EDD correspondence, especially in times of great crisis, because sometimes this is the only way we could reach them is by scheduling an appointment, advising them by mail, and then calling them at the specified time on the appointment notice. So it's super important that they review and continue to read all important communication from the EDD. Certifying for benefits is next on the list here, and to get paid for benefits, customers must provide eligibility information to the EDD every 2 weeks. Again, the fastest way is you online mobile. What I'm sure if someone has a big certificate, the second bullet point if you have internet access to that, but we would like to encourage those folks, if they have telephone,
You still there, Ricky? I think we lost him.
Looks like it. I thought it was my system.
I was hoping that it would cut back in, but yes, it looks like we lost the feed there. But nonetheless, the contact information is there. It was provided. We can provide on the link as well. But we will go ahead and keep moving forward, which is essentially that this was the last presenter. So we just have one more item to discuss, and we should be complete for the day. Let's see here. Let me go. Alrighty, so what we're going to touch on now essentially is the other side of the coin. Where some businesses may not be in good financial shape. You have some tough decisions to make. There are other businesses that may be looking for help with hiring. For example, grocery stores, truckers, any hands that may be needed to for those particular businesses to move forward in through the crisis. So I just wanted to provide some information of what we can do here at the AJCCs. So the first question is, are any of the businesses that are here in this meeting, are you hiring? Do you know of any companies that are hiring? You can always reach out to us. And like I said earlier in the meeting, we do provide assistance, with job postings, recruitments. We are moving towards a virtual setting, of course. So we have ways to adapt to this crisis, and we can certainly have provide resources to help, to get you properly staffed so that we can continue through the crisis. So essentially what I wanted to do is in the chat, let me go ahead and hand it over to Catalina, who's going to be providing the contact information. Catalina, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, perfect. If you can just go over the contact information, we'll be able to wrap this up.
Yes, sure. Oh.
Perfect.
Yes. So if you are interested in the services, we are ready for you here. We have one location in San Fernando Valley, Santa Clarita Valley, and Antelope Valley. So please reach out to us. We will be so happy to assist. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. And also what I'm going to include in the chat right now, it's a link to our business needs assessment. If you can do us the favor and complete that, just by submitting it, will be received on our end. We will then filter it to the appropriate office, depending on where your office is located. So if you could take a minute after this call or during this call, follow that link. It'll take you to a form online. And again, it's just a simple form where you can answer basic questions. It'll give us an idea of what you may need, what we can help you with. And again, we will forward it to the appropriate office so that we can then better serve you. Okay. So that link was provided. And with that, I mean, we've essentially had a Q&A, you know, through the entire time through the chat, which is good because we were running, you know, late on time. But there will be another meeting. We're shooting for bi-weekly town hall. So in a couple of weeks, we should be hosting another one with more specific information. This was just a basic, you know, overview. A lot of information was provided, but you can expect another town hall if you want to join. Keep an eye out on our Eventbrite. We will make the registration available through there. And yeah, just keep in contact with us. We can provide the information. So with that, any questions that we may be able to quickly address before wrapping up for today? I'll open up the forum for a few questions.
Ricky, it looks like Ben has a question regarding part-time employees and general unemployment insurance. I'm not sure if our EDD rep is still on the call, so we might have to forward him his question so he can answer it more effectively.
Okay. Well, Ben, we do apologize with that information, but again, keep checking back with us. We will provide information where you can get the answers that you need. You can certainly look back. You can certainly look back in the chat. Maybe that question was already addressed, or yeah, at least you can find who was addressing. But we will provide a copy of this presentation, as well as the recording. If everything works correctly, we'll provide the recording as well, and we can, you know, take it from there. So I'll go. It looks like from the chat I had the link. Some of you may not be working for you. So let me go ahead and paste it again. Let me know if it continues to not work, or if it works, just so that I have that feedback. And again, that's essentially the meeting.
Cicely, really quickly, the link was working for me. You might need to use your Microsoft 365 login so that you can access the form.
Right. This is a Microsoft form, so if you have that, you should be able to have access to the information. All right. Any other questions before you wrap up for the day?
Looks like Araxi needs Carolyn's phone number. So can we have someone from the county reach out to him in an email with that?
Okay.
And we also have another question on how to find the meeting again.
We are going to email to, we have the list of registrants, those who've attended as well. We're going to email you a copy of the PowerPoint and the recording of the meeting in case you missed anything, for you to just listen to at your comfort. So that will be provided. Okay. All right. Well, with that being said, then I'd just like to thank Caroline, Richard, at WEDAX for providing the valuable information. Claudia at SBDC, thank you so much for assisting us with our town hall. Rachel as well with Bet Zedek and the free legal advice. I know that's going to come in handy. And also Ken, I know you put in a little bit extra work for our town hall today, and we do appreciate that. And like I said earlier, to our businesses, you know, the people that are here providing this information, they deeply care. They put in long hours to provide this information, and I hope it was useful. Again, check back with our Eventbrite within the next couple of weeks, we will have a new one, you know, with the obviously running smoother, as this is all, you know, a learning curve for us. We want to make sure we get everything right, and we'll take it from there. Okay. Thank you so much. We will get through this together, and we will be in touch. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.